I am back and I've been gone. I've actually been inactive on YouTube for a little while now. I'm glad to say that we've been so busy. Like, this school year is far more productive than last year. So I'm glad to say that we have really been on a roll. We took the children, wow, we took the kids on a trip. We went to New Jersey, we went to DC, we went to take the kids to see the Statue of Liberty in New York. So it's been really, active as far as our school year. And I want to say those count as field trips because they were so far away, like they were states away. But we did them over the weekend, like a few weekends. Altogether it's been a few weekends because I haven't been on YouTube. I haven't posted a video in about a month or so. But today I just wanted to post real quick while I ran out to Verizon and just to run a couple of errands. So I stopped and said, you know what, I don't have the kids with me right now. Let me make a quick update video just to tell you all where we've been and what we've been up to, and to cover a few tips about homeschooling on the go and how we do it. If you are on my Instagram page, you'll see I update a lot there because it's just quicker than making a video. Anyway, what we've been doing as far as homeschooling on the go. Now, I have a washer and dryer at home, but sometimes the laundry, when it's too overwhelming, I'll go to the laundromat and use one of their huge industrial size washers. Sometimes that happens and I don't get to wash the laundry on Sunday, or I don't get to wash the laundry that weekend that I plan to do it, and it'll fall on a weekday where I have to wash the laundry. My solution for that is we pack up our books in our little backpacks or messenger bags, whatever it is, whatever lesson we plan on doing that day. We take everything to the laundromat and we do our schoolwork right there in the laundromat. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but yes, we've done our schoolwork in the laundromat. Some other places we've chosen to do our schoolwork is like at Panera Bread, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, and bookstores, like that. What's another one? Starbucks is a place that we can do schoolwork as well. It's just, I don't really like the environment. It's kind of like our Starbucks anyway. The Starbucks that we typically go to, the one that you can actually sit in there, is kind of loud to me. But I mean, I have options, so it's not a big deal like that. And the other places are fairly quiet, so my kids can concentrate and they can write their book reports or whatever the subject is that we're working on. They can work on it right there at a bookstore, and it's fun, it's easy. So I was saying, it's fun and it's easy to work from a place such as Barnes and Noble because it's a reading environment. It's quiet, it's covered, it's lots of books and lots of bookshelves and things like that. And then they even have their toy section or their schoolwork section for your child who's homeschooled or in that grade or whatever it is. You have your coffee, you have your table. It's really nice. So we go to those places. We can do schoolwork outside. We actually do schoolwork sometimes on the back deck and like on the patio table. And where's another place? Just switching up the environment like that, because sometimes it becomes a little monotonous and I don't want my kids to get bored with it. Like, I try to stay creative because they have such active minds as children and they're always ready to explore and they want to keep it moving. They don't want to sit there for 30 minutes and do the same subject. So we have to be creative with it. I was fortunate, alhamdulillah, I found a game that, what is it called? Multiplication War. That has been such a lifesaver because it's cut out for third grade. Like on the cards it says it's for third grade. However, my children are in second and fifth, so when we play it, it's perfect for them because my second grader is learning multiplication and my fifth grader needs math enrichment. So it'll keep him sharp. And you can't win the cards or you can't win the game unless you know multiplication. I'm sorry. So that really works. That's really, that has been my find of the month, honestly. The multiplication war game, card game. Is basically we use every opportunity as a learning opportunity. And I want to say, I believe strongly that I picked that up from my mother because of all my memories, like of my childhood. Of course, you have whatever memories you have from times you enjoyed, but I always remember books being intertwined. It brings back some of the best memories because how do I, when I teach my children, I, I teach them in the same manner in which I learn, but I sort of adapt to how they learn. Like, because we're in a digital age, we have millennial children and things like that. I try to teach them the same method, but I introduce it to them through electronics if possible, or through, something more, what is it, modern or appropriate like that. Because the things that I was learning 30 years ago, they wouldn't want to learn the same exact way because they've already been introduced to electronics and CGI and things like that. So it's kind of hard to give them a hard copy and expect them to just flip through the pages. And, it's rare when you can find a kid who's just, bury their nose in a book. So what I do is I just try to introduce my children, or I try to teach them the same things that I had to learn through modern, I'd say, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm lost. Anyway, I want to say through more like not age appropriate, but generation appropriate times or methods. When we go to the store and we go shopping, we make lists of what we estimate the price will be, and then they write it and they compare it to what the actual price is. And this is for a math class, and they learn to compare the difference, or show the difference, and they have to show the math. And it's pretty nice because they get to practice their math while we're going through the grocery store, or when they are playing the card game and they have to do the math, or we play dominoes and they'll have to come up with the sum. And depends on if we're doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, then while we're playing dominoes, and that's how we write it down on the chart, or on the scoreboard. And it depends on how well you play, whether or not you win. And you have to know your math. You have to know your math in order to win. So we really do. We've been enjoying this year, and we try to start on time every morning. And if we don't start on time, it's no big deal. It's not a big deal. We just get to it as soon as possible. Sometimes you have hiccups. A couple of days ago, my kids weren't feeling so well. They were a little under the weather, but we still tried to get through our school day. I did give them a break and let them lay down, and a big sign when a kid isn't feeling well, they just don't have the energy, or they'll lay there, especially if they're active children. Like my children are young and they're very active, so if they're laying down, I know for sure they don't feel well. So when my kids are doing that, I'm like, you know what, I'll just give them a break. I'll make the soup and we'll take it from there. But then when they pop up and say, hey, can we play this, that, or the third, or I see them playing with their cars, I'm like, you know what, let's read. And if they say, oh, I don't feel like reading, I have a headache, okay, then I'll read to you. But we're going to get that reading lesson in. We're going to get that story time in, and we're going to start working on our reviews. If they say I don't feel well enough to write my review, because they may not feel well enough, but you're up and you're talking and you're playing. So what we do in that time is I'll say, all right, I'll type it, but I want you to tell me about it. What happened when, and I'll ask the question, and they have to answer it. And as I'm typing, and I say, okay, wait, slow down. Tell me if this is right. Read this and tell me if it's right. And I'm actually sneaking a lesson in there, and they're doing their reading lesson, and they're actually reviewing the book at the same time as they are reading it. And they don't have to stand up to do it. They don't have to sit up to do it. They can lean right on my leg while they are going through a lesson. And it really works. It's just, you have to find a way around the hiccups, and because they do happen. And if you stress yourself out too much and try to figure out, if you stress yourself out too much by trying to cram it all in, it's going to become overwhelming and you'll get burned out really quick. So just what works for us, homeschooling on the go. When they are tired of that same classroom environment, we take it somewhere else. We go, like I named already, places like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Panera Bread. We have our little hangout spots at the park. The reason I haven't named the library yet, and I was going to make a whole separate video for this, but it's probably not necessary, is because at the library they have computers now for the children. And once my kids discovered that, it was over. So when we go to the library, they no longer are interested in their books. They want to get on the computer. The computer at the library has a lot of games. It's really there as a method to allow parents who are there for other reasons to keep their kids out of their hair just for the moment. I mean, the parent could be sitting there and reading their own book while the child is engaged on the computer. The problem is my children are not really learning on their grade level, and they're not actually doing schoolwork when they're on the computer. They are playing computer games. So we try to avoid the library unless we're going to play games or enjoy ourselves or story time, or unless the library is having a program or something like that. Other resources that we use at the library are online at home. They have a math tutor, which helps me out tremendously with 5th grade math. I log in or I have my son log in, and we sit there, and the math tutor will help us through whatever the problem is that he may be stuck on. And then, of course, his father is a saving grace because he's excellent in math. I can't say the same about myself, but he's an excellent math teacher as well. So that saves us. It saves me a whole lot of stress. It saves me a lot of headache, and it takes a load off my shoulders that I wouldn't necessarily be able to handle if I didn't have that help. So I hope this has been helpful or useful to you. Just going different places. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've uploaded. I'll try to upload more. But like I said, you can probably find me on Instagram a lot quicker than you can on YouTube. But don't let that deter you from subscribing. Just go on ahead and subscribe, because I enjoy hearing back from you on any platform. And as far as education, you just, like our Holy Last Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. You just keep on striving, and you keep on keeping on trying to educate your children. As hard as it may seem sometimes with homeschooling, there are different ways to get out. So hopefully this video helped, and I look forward to seeing you all, or I look forward to making another video and chatting there with you all. Inshallah, you take care, and try to find a method or a way to teach your children on the go, if that's what it takes to keep your homeschool going. Until next time, I'll see you all later, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.